Hello everyone, this is Steve Risser, the host of Sports Talk with RKJ, and today I have your preview for Week 10. So we start tonight with an AFC West matchup between the Raiders and the Chargers, and this should be a really interesting game. The Chargers come in at 4-5. The Raiders come in at 4-4, and the Raiders are improved this year. I think a big reason for their improvement are two players. Darren Waller's had a really good year, and Josh Jacobs is the offensive rookie of the year in the NFL this year. He's had a great year so far for the Raiders, and for the Chargers, they've had an up and down season. They had a big win last week against the Packers. That was a huge win for them. And but I think for this game, this is going to be a really, really close, competitive game. But at the end of the day, I think the Raiders win it, and I think the Raiders win it really close. I'm going to go, my prediction is going to be 31-27. I have Oakland winning this game over the... I got Oakland winning this game over the Chargers, 31-27 in Oakland. Should be a really good game. I mean, I think that Josh Jacobs is going to go for over 100 yards. I think that Phillip Rivers will have a big day through the air, but I think the Raiders who've done really, really well stopping the run. They're going to do a really good job stopping the run against the Chargers tonight. I think they shut down the run game. I think Rivers has a big game, but ultimately I think Carr is a good game. Waller has a good game, and I think Josh Jacobs goes for over 100. And I think the Raiders pull the upset and win 31-27 at home. We have an NFC South matchup in New Orleans, and this should be a total mismatch. Even though this is a division game and both teams know each other, this game should be a complete mismatch between these two teams. I think that the Saints are going to be able to do what they want on the ground with Alvin Kamara and Latavius Murray. I think Drew Brees has a big game throwing the ball to Michael Thomas because the Atlanta defense has been absolutely terrible. And on the flip side, I think Cameron Jordan has a big day getting to Matt Ryan. I don't think the Falcons get a run game going like they haven't all season long. I think it doesn't matter if Matt Ryan or Matt Schaub starts. It's going to be a long day for the Falcons. I got the Saints winning this game 34-10 Sunday afternoon in New Orleans. We got the Chiefs traveling to Tennessee to face the Titans, and we're not sure if Mahomes is going to play or not. But even because last week I made a mistake, switching my pick at the last minute because Mahomes didn't play. But I think that no matter regardless if Mahomes plays or not, I think that the Chiefs win this game. I think the big reason why is because I think their run game has been better the last couple of weeks. Damian Williams done a good job on the ground, had a huge run last week, had a huge 91-yard touchdown run against the Vikings. A big reason why they won that game. Matt Moore has played pretty well since he's taken over for Patrick Mahomes. And I think the Chiefs defense, their front four is getting a little bit better because they got Chris Jones back. We're not sure if they're going to get Frank Clark back this week, but they got Chris Jones back, and he had a really good week last week. The Titans, I think, have success running the ball with Derrick Henry, and Ryan Tannehill has a decent game, but it's not going to be good enough. And I got the Chiefs winning this Sunday, and I got them winning 27-20 over the Titans. We got an NFC North matchup in Chicago of two struggling teams as the 3-4-1 Lions head to Chicago to face the 3-5 Chicago Bears, and Mitch Trubisky has been absolutely terrible. The Bears haven't been able to get a running game going. I mean, the only good thing for the Bears this year has been their defense, and I think their defense has a really good game. Yes, Matthew Stafford has played really well this year, but I think their defense does a really good job getting pressure on him and forcing a couple turnovers from him. And I think Mitchell Trubisky does enough against this Lions defense, which has struggled this year. David Montgomery gets enough yards on the ground. Allen Robinson makes some play. I think Allen Robinson has a pretty good game too. I think the Bears do enough offensively to snap their 4-game losing streak. I got the Bears winning this Sunday against the Lions 20-16. We got the Battle of New York with two teams that have been absolutely terrible this season. We got the Giants coming in at 2-7, losing 5 in a row, and we got the Jets coming in at 1-7. I mean, both these teams have really struggled this year. The Giants are going to be without Evan Ingram this week. They might be without two off. They might be. There's a very good chance they might be without Sterling Shepard. They could be without John Jalapeno and and Mike Remmer, so they could be without two of their offensive linemen. The Jets have just been absolutely terrible. Their offensive line has been terrible. They haven't been able to get Le'Veon Bell going, and Sam Darnold has not been good at all, throwing 8 interceptions in his last 3 games. And Daniel Jones, outside of that game against Detroit, has really struggled in his last 5 games. Before his last 5 games, he hasn't played well in. He's made a lot of rookie mistakes. He hasn't been able to hang on to the ball. He's thrown some interceptions. I think this is a very ugly game, but a very close game. But I think at the end, the Giants pull it out. And I think the Giants will pull this one out 20-17 against the Jets. We got Kyler Murray and the Cardinals traveling down to Tampa to face Jameis Winston and the Bucs. And I think Kyler Murray has a really big day. I think he has a really big game through the air against the Tampa Bay secondary that's absolutely terrible. I think the Bucs secondary is terrible, and I think Kyler Murray has a huge day through the air and has a really big game. And I think that Jameis Winston will make some plays. I think the Cardinals have some success running the ball, but he's also going to have a couple turnovers. And I think the pressure of Chandler Jones is going to make the difference in this game. And I got the Cardinals winning in the upset. I got the Cardinals beating the Bucs 27-24. We got an AFC North matchup in Cincinnati as the 6-2 Ravens, coming off a win against the Patriots last Sunday night, face the 0-8 Cincinnati Bengals. And even though this is a division game, I think this is going to be an easy win for the Ravens. Even though AJ Green is coming back for the Bengals, Andy Dalton has been benched in favor of Ryan Finley. And I think that the Bengals are going to struggle. I think that they're going to get pressure on Ryan Finley. The Ravens defense is going to show him things he's not seen before because it's his first start. And I think the Ravens have a lot of success on the ground with Mark Ingram and Lamar Jackson. They easily rush for over 100 yards because Cincinnati's run defense is absolutely terrible, and they win this game convincingly. I got the Ravens winning this week 27-10 over the Bengals. We got a matchup of 2 teams going in different directions in Cleveland. We got the 6-2 Buffalo Bills against the 2-6 Cleveland Browns. And yeah, these 2 teams going in 2 different directions. I think coaching is going to be the big difference in this game. Sean McDermott has done a really good job since he's taken over in Buffalo. Freddie Kitchens has been absolutely terrible since he's became the head coach of the Browns. And I think Buffalo is going to have success because Cleveland can't stop the run. Buffalo is going to, just like last week, Buffalo is going to have success on the ground with Frank Gore, with Devin Singletary. I think the two-headed monster, that combination they're going to have success on the ground. And I think Josh Allen will be able to manage the game. And I think that Chubb will have a good game on the ground. But the difference between the Bills and the Browns is the Bills will stick to the run game. The Browns won't, because the Browns will feel like they have to force feed Odell Beckham, and that's going to end up being a problem. And that's why I think their losing streak will continue, and it will continue on. The losing streak will continue on Sunday. I got the Bills beating the Browns 23-17 this Sunday. We'll go to the 4 o'clock games, and we got a matchup between the Carolina Panthers and the Green Bay Packers. And this week, the Panthers plays Cam Newton on IR, so it's gonna be Kyle Allen for the rest of the season for the Carolina Panthers. And looking at and for the Packers, they're going to try to bounce back from what happened last week against the Chargers. And I think they bounce back. I think Aaron Jones has a good week on the ground. I think Aaron Rodgers has a bounce back week. I think Green Bay's getting into the 30s on offense this week. I think they're going to balance on offense. I think they're getting into the 30s. I do think, though, that Christian McCaffrey will have a big game because Green Bay has struggled to stop the run this year. So I think McCaffrey has a big game. But at the end of the day, I think that Green Bay wins this game. I think they win it by a touchdown. I got Green Bay winning the game 31-24 over the Panthers. We got the Steelers heading to Pittsburgh this week in an interesting game. And I think that in this game, I think on the Rams side, I think they'll be able to have some success running the ball with Todd Gurley and Dontrell Henderson. I think Goff's going to face some pressure though from T.J. Watt and Bud Dupree. I think that's going to slow the Rams offense down a little bit. But the big difference in this game is I don't think anybody in the Steelers secondary is going to be able to cover Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp is going to have a big game and he's going to go for over 100 yards. And I think he's going to be the difference in this game for the Rams. And I think on the Steelers side, I think that there's a chance James Conner won't play, so that's going to force Mason Rudolph to be one-dimensional. And you don't want Mason Rudolph being one-dimensional. I think that becomes a real problem. I got the Rams winning this game 24-17 over the Steelers to go to 6-3. We got the Dolphins visiting going to Indianapolis to visit the Colts this week. And I don't care who plays quarterback. I think Jacoby Brissett is going to play this week. T.Y. Hilton's going to be out for the Colts. But I think the Colts win this game, and the Colts win this game big. I think they have success with Marlon Mack running the ball. I think if Jacoby Brissett plays, I think he has success through the air. And I think the defensive line is going to get pressure on Fitzpatrick. They're going to shut down any running game the Dolphins have. They're pretty much going to shut down the Dolphins' offense all day. And I got the Colts going to 6-3, rebounding from last week's loss to the Steelers. I got the Colts winning big. I got the Colts winning. I got the Colts winning 31-13 over the Steelers this week. We got a very, very interesting Sunday night game as the 6-3 Vikings travel to Dallas to face the 5-3 Cowboys. And I think this is a matchup between two of the NFL's best running backs, Dalvin Cook for the Vikings and Ezekiel Elliott for the Cowboys. I think both are going to have good games because neither run defense is great. So I think both are going to have really good games. I think both defenses are going to play pretty well too. I think both defenses are going to get pressure on the quarterback. The difference in the game is going to be quarterback play. And right now, as much as I can't stand the Cowboys, I take Dak Prescott over Kirk Cousins. And I think that Dak Prescott will do enough against this Vikings defense to win this game. Yes, I don't think Dak Prescott is a great quarterback, but he's a good quarterback, and I think he's good enough to win this football game. I think Dak will play well enough, and I think this game is going to be close going down to the wire with Kirk Cousins having the ball in his hands with a chance to win the game, just like twice this year he did against the Packers and against the Chiefs. But I think the Kirk Cousins has the ball in his hands late and doesn't win this game. And the same story is going to continue for Kirk Cousins. He's going to lose another primetime game. And I think that Dallas, I hate saying this, but I think Dallas wins this game over the Vikings Sunday night 24-20. Kirk Cousins just cannot win primetime games, and I think that continues this Sunday night. We'll wrap up the show talking about the Monday night game, and we got the 7-2 Seahawks facing the 8-0 49ers. This should be a great game. I think the Niners are going to do whatever they want on offense against the Seattle defense because there's potential they can get Joe Staley and Mike McGlinchey back. They're two tackles. I think Jimmy Garoppolo has started to find his form. He had a great game last Thursday night against the Cardinals. So I think that the 49ers are going to be able to have success running the ball. I think they're going to move the ball on offense, do whatever they want on offense against the Seahawks defense. And for the Seahawks, I think Russell Wilson's going to keep them in the game. I think they'll have success running the ball too with Chris Carson because the one weakness of the 49ers defense is their run defense. So I think they'll have success running the ball. And I think that Russell Wilson, who is the MVP of the league right now, is going to have a really, really good day through the air. I think he's going to have a really good game. I think Wilson will be good. I think he'll be solid. And I think that this is going to be a close game. But at the end of the day, I got the 49ers beating the Seahawks 34-27 on Monday night. So that's going to wrap it up for the Week 10 preview. So we'll be back doing shows next week. We'll have our regular show next week. We'll have our college football ranking show, reaction show to the college football rankings, and we'll have our Week 11 preview next week. So be on the lookout for those shows next week, and we hope everyone has a great weekend. And thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend, everybody.